Welcome back to another episode of Mindset Minutes. I think that's what I'm going to call this. I can't think of any other better name for it. Honestly, I'm not too worried about it, but I think it kind of illustrates what I talk about and how I express my thoughts to you guys, to you listeners. Thank you for listening, by the way. Thank you for watching, I guess, me sit on a couch and yap for 20 to 30 minutes. But today, throughout the week, I try to, I listen to a lot of podcasts, read a lot of different things, read books and things like that. And in this past week, I didn't take a lot of notes. I just tried to keep my mind open and really just listen to my mind and try not to consume as much of podcast material of other creators. And I just tried to listen to me. I apologize if I have like raindrops, if it looks like I just took a shower. It's because it's pouring rain outside. But anyways, I try to take some notes on what people say, and I didn't take much notes last week. I just kind of was present and tried to just listen to my mind. And last week, the only one of the only things I took note of was I was listening to this podcast with Michael Smoke, and it was talking about the fact that I think it was the one where it was you have to go for it. And it's just like it was like a figurative thing. So whatever the thing is that you've been like putting off, whether that's starting up a business, starting up a channel, starting up a different series, whatever you want to do, he talked about like the fact that you have to go for it. You have to step foot into it. Nobody else is going to go for it for you. You have to do it. And the worst case scenario doesn't work, and then you figure out something else. It's not that big a deal. Is it really a loss if, like we talked about last time, if you learn something from it? So he talked about that, but one of the quotes, the whole podcast was great, but one of the little tiny quotes and like little aphorisms he says is suppression of expression leads to depression. And I think, especially as far as everybody, like culture nowadays is taught to kind of like suppress your emotions because somebody else is feeling that emotion worse or going through something worse. And, I agree with that. But I think when he said that quote, it was like an aha moment. Like men have to naturally kind of put their emotions aside at times. And that's okay. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to say, hey, my emotions need to step aside for now. And I need to focus on what I'm doing, focus on who I'm helping in this scenario. My emotions don't need to be a factor. And sometimes that's needed, but oftentimes not. When we shut them out, it leads to much worse things. We don't say how we feel, and we don't express how we're feeling. And so then those thoughts just keep compounding and compounding. And of course, you and me go through tons of different feelings throughout a day. And if we just suppress those feelings and don't talk to anybody about them, then is it going to help us or is it going to hurt us? I wouldn't think it would help us, because it's just like, I try to like look at it as like trying to like pack a bunch of things in like a little tiny, it's like when you fill up the vacuum cleaner and it's full and obviously it's not doing its job the best it could. And so it just keeps packing and packing and packing and packing of these little hairs and dust until it simply just doesn't work anymore. And I've had those times in my life where I would say it happens a lot more in winter because I'm alone with my thoughts more, and there's not more things that keep me busy, so that keep my mind busy, take my mind off things. So that is something that I deal with. I sit and I think, and I just kind of overthink, and just like kind of like what a lot of people do. And that is one of the things I deal with. It just like sits and compounds, and that vacuum cleaner gets so full that it just one day it's just like it all comes out. I'm just sitting there crying, whatever it is. And, at the end of the day, you got to talk to somebody about it. Whether, there's healthy ways to deal with it. There's a lot of healthy ways to deal with it. It's just simply talking to somebody. Talking like, hey, I'm mad right now. Or, hey, I'm really sad right now and I can't explain why, but I just want to let you know that I'm sad, because, that might not benefit the person knowing that. It might, if it's someone close to you, they might be like, okay, well, that explains why he's acting this way or she is acting this way. But more so, it helps the mental side of you. Like, hey, I'm really mad or upset with this person or frustrated with this scenario. So I think it's finding that balance of, hey, I'm feeling this emotion right now. I need to find a way to close the loop of the fact that I don't need to pack the vacuum cleaner anymore. And I think that can take you very far. And the better you can be at picking that apart and learning that in your life, as far as mine, I know I've been trying like this whole year to do better at it, because before it was just life was so busy and I was like, I'm just going to throw that aside. I'm not going to worry about it. When I was, as far as like, I don't get into relationships or anything right now just because, it's kind of going off topic, but my life is already focused on other things and kind of in that lonely chapter, if you want to call it. And you just have to understand that this is where you're at, but the emotions still need to be expressed. Because if we have like a partner, we can talk to them about that. And not saying that the people like our family, we can't talk to them, but our partner is obviously closer to our age. They can relate to us probably a little bit better in some of the things we're dealing with, or whatever it is. 9 times out of 10, it's not as bad as you think it is when you actually say it out loud. I've learned in life that when you sit and think about it and you never actually say a word about it, and that could go with anything, like ideas. Like if I have an idea to do something, like, or I want to build this thing or try this new part, and I just don't ever say anything about it, and then I say it out loud, whether meaning because it's so stressful, it sounds so stressful when I want to like do that task or try this new thing. It sounds like, oh my goodness, that's so much work. That's so much like planning and preparation. When in reality, when you actually like talk about it or write it down or whatever, it closes that loop of, okay, here's what needs to be done. Here's what needs to be taken care of. And, I've had some ideas in the past week. I've had some ideas, like, I'm not going to say because it's more private for me, but I've had some ideas that I want to do, things I want to build. And, I've had these ideas for months and I've just told people about them, which is fine. It's fine to obviously express that, but I've told people about them. But now I actually took action and expressed them onto paper and wrote them out. And I'm like, hey, here's what it's going to take. Here's all these different things. Now now your mind can say, like, it's simple, but it's extremely hard to think of and compare into your own life. And I could talk about it for hours. I could talk about expression for hours. We all deal with emotions. We all deal with different things that we have a hard time expressing. Sometimes you feel some way and you don't even know how to explain it. And that's okay too. But that is one of the things that I took notes on this week. Suppression of expression leads to depression. Next topic. So we just got home from, I walked around a big city, and I walked around for about an hour, and I live off, I would say not in like the hustle and bustle of the city, and I've never really experienced that. I've never experienced the everything moving so fast at once. And now that I got to just get a little hint of that, a little like appetizer of that today, it was like, wow. Like learning, like observing how people live inside like such a busy city really opens your eyes on like how our culture is, like how people go about their day. Like they're flying around on scooters down there, and in my town it's like that's unheard of. Like nobody flies around on scooters unless you own one. And they got all these bird scooters or whatever. And I've always wanted to ride one, but it's not that big a deal. But anyways, they're flying around on these scooters, or, there's so many stoplights. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness, that takes forever just to cross the street. Or there's like these 4-way streets. I'm like, I told my dad, I was like, dude, it's like, I will take the life I have right now over this any day. Like, it's like a completely different life if you were to live in the city or just close to outside of it, like in a big city. And it was eye-opening though, because I never really experienced that in my life. I'd never experienced looking at life in that realm of others, and it was like, wow. But What is in the camera? Huh, I don't know. Anyways, but looking at that was like, it really opened my eyes. I don't know. It was just like, it was crazy to understand how people like, what do you mean you just walk out your door and you have all this in front of you? You don't get to like go ride a dirt bike, or you don't get to like, and even if you do go on a run, you got to stop at a stoplight for every 30 seconds. So is it really running, or is it just like runs with brakes? It's just like, how do you do that? Like, I don't know, but you can't just like go ride your dirt bike. I don't know. It was cool. It was eye opening. I took a lot of pictures, and it was fun. I felt like a tourist down there, and that's fine. I like that feeling. That's okay. But nah, I'll take the living. I'll never voluntarily live in the city. That's for sure. But it was cool. It was cool to see how, like I said, just cool to see how other people live, but yeah, definitely eye opening. Next topic. Dirt bikes. Dirt bikes are interesting right now because I haven't rode in almost 2 weeks now. 10 days, I think. Yeah, around 10 days. I haven't rode in almost 10 days. And I haven't rode in almost 10 days, cycled, or ran in 10 days. So my body is fully recovered. Obviously, I'm still like lifting for what I can do. But my ankle is like, it's gotten better since last week. I know that. It's been 10 days without, it's been 10 days since I sprained it. And the sprain part has gotten better, but like the arch in my foot is still unsteady. So like I can walk in a straight line, very minimal pain, but any rotation left or right, especially like down or putting any sort of pressure on it that way, yeah, no way. So dirt bikes are still off the table right now. I hope to race in 2 weeks from now, Lord willing. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I can do for that. That's all I can do. And just trying to take it the best I can. While I'm off, I'm trying to work on them, make them better, fix some things, some issues with the bikes as far as that. I know I miss it. I know I really, in it, that's another thing, like being in that realm of fitness and not the motions of life, but my normal routine of, okay, we run on Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe Saturdays, and then we lift at least 3 days a week. And, being in that routine and then just like getting to a halt is like really, it can be kind of exhausting in the moments where it's like, I really don't want to go out and run, but I know that for future me, this is going to benefit me. But now when I see it third person, when I see Blake from third person, and I'm like, dude, like that's freaking fun. Like I'd love to go out and just freaking send a 5-mile run and just see how fast I could do it right now. But I know that's not the case. Even when I am cleared to go out and run again, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to ease back into it. But yeah, that's just the little kid in me. It's hard. It's hard putting the limits on yourself and trying to back off, let off the gas pedal. And it's just so hard to learn that. It's because even at 18, like we talked about in the first episode, I just graduated. And so right now, life is just like so new. And it's very easy to like put that pressure on yourself. And, they were talking about it on CBS a couple days ago, how, everybody feels like they have to have it figured out, especially new graduates. Like they feel like they have to have it all figured out. And it's so easy to do because the world moves so fast. And it's like everybody around you is older and they have it it seems like they have it figured out and they're so much farther ahead. And then you throw the comparison of being an adult in there. It's like, I'm an adult. Well, now I got to have this figured out. I got to know this. And in reality, it's just not it. But it's, even though you tell yourself that, it's still hard to do that. It's still hard to understand that I'm 18 years old. And 5 years from now, I'm going to be 23. I will be 5 years into adulthood. Like 5 years old of an adult. Like that. Like, just put that in perspective. Gary Vee even said, he's like, you could do whatever you want to do and for 10 years and you're still young. You could do it for another 10 years and you're still young. Like, that is so powerful to me. And it just resonates with me. Like the fact that you don't have to have it all figured out. And And it's like, I'm literally like looking at a mirror, and then the mirror's reflecting to me, telling me those words. Cause like, I need to know I don't need to have it all figured out. Cause I deal with that like every day. And it's just the want to be better is already speaks mountains for my future. Like, but what you're praised for in public, you pay for in private. So you're praised for your hard work ethic, your drive to want to be better. You also pay for in private. You pay for the, I want to do better, I want to do better, I want to do better. And you're trying to force all these things, but in reality, you can't keep forcing it. You have to understand that this is all I can do right now. Like, this is maxed out for me. I can consistently lift 3 days a week. I can consistently do mobility every night, whether that's a little bit of stretching. I can consistently commit to 10 minutes every night of mobility. I can take my supplements, hit at least 160 grams of protein a day, and get my water in, get those little things right. That way, when a big thing comes along, it just flows in better. And I've talked about this before. I know I talked about this before, but it's like putting a puzzle together, and like the outer edge. I love like little like illustrations like this. Like, imagine getting the little things right, hitting your protein, hitting your carbs, fats, whatever your goals are. Getting those little things right is the edge pieces, and then everything else you can fill in with those middle pieces of the puzzle. And eventually you'll have a completed puzzle at the end of your life, or whatever your puzzle is, whatever that is. But man, I could talk about this forever. It's just like I sit and think about this all the time, and don't say anything to people about it. Because, I mean, obviously we have 50,000 thoughts a day or 80,000 thoughts a day. And so, like, you have to understand that you just don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to have keep getting the little things right, and keep stacking the little wins. Like, if you go all gas, it's like training for a marathon, and you run your first week of marathon training and you've never ran before, is a 70-mile week. Like, you can't go all gas at once, because then you're going to burn out. Then you're going to be like, this sucks. And then you're going to hate it, versus running 1 mile every day, or 1 mile for 6 days. And then the next week, 1.5. And then the week after that, 2. And then you start building more and more, and just keeps compounding. Like, excuse me. I apologize. It just keeps compounding. Like, it's like I almost want to call it the law of consistency, because I feel like that should be a thing. Maybe it is, but the more consistent you can be at getting the little things right. Like, I've been obsessed with that in the last year, and just being consistent, which also you can pay for it, because you get so focused on a routine. My goodness, I'm like burping a bunch because I had pizza for dinner. But you're so focused on a routine. You're so focused on the daily motions. You're so focused on these things that you do every day. So yeah, it gets very normal. And then when that gets pushed out of the element, like a couple nights ago, I think I was outside till 10:30, and normally, like, that's unheard of for me. Like, normally I'm inside at like probably at the latest by 9:10, 9:15. That way I can start my nightly routine, whatever. And I got in at like 10:30, and I was like, I got better with it, so I wasn't as like, but I definitely was like, oh my goodness, gotta get all this done. I gotta do my mobility, gotta drink my water, gotta take my magnesium, gotta take my whatever, and I gotta take my allergy meds. I gotta get all these things so I can get this thing to work right, and get a good sleep for the next day, and then I get to worry about eating the things right for the next day, so I have enough sleep, and I'm not run down. It's like, dude, just stop. Like, I'm going to stretch for a little bit because it's good for my body, and it will be good for me. And then I'm going to sit down for a little bit, get wound down for bed. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to start again tomorrow, if we do get blessed for another day, blessed with another day tomorrow. Like, you just gotta take the foot off the gas pedal. Like, sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's okay to, and just coast for a while. Like, and I think I'm in that coasting phase. I just gotta teach myself that, and it's hard to do. It's hard to teach yourself to stop pedaling, stop having the hand on the throttle the whole time, and just carry that momentum. Carry the momentum. Your momentum is getting the little things done right. And yeah, it speaks miles, and it speaks so many different avenues. So yeah, that's what I had to leave with you. I mean, there was a lot to talk about on this little episode, but I could talk for hours, honestly. I enjoy making these, though. It's fun. That's one thing I need to fix. I need to stop fidgeting when I'm talking or talking to somebody, because I do it all the time. If there's like a little lens cap or a little pen, or I'm taking... I need to work on that. So next podcast, episode 4, I'm going to make sure that I'm not fidgeting. If I'm fidgeting, you guys need to flame me in the comments and be like, dude, stop fidgeting, I'm unsubscribing, or whatever. But I need to get better at that. But if you guys like this, share it with your friends. If it resonated with you and you're in the situation I'm in, or you understand it, drop a comment. I'd love to talk about it. But I love doing this. It's fun. I enjoy it. So I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And I'm grateful for 23 people that watch it. If one person takes something away from it, then my job is done. So thank you guys for watching. See ya.